What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Coffee Talk. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm heavily caffeinated this morning. So, yeah, it's been a whole lot of caffeine pumped into my system today. So, I'm going to go ahead and say, Happy Taco Tuesday. Won't be eating no tacos, but what else do you do on Tuesday if you don't eat tacos? I don't know. I did Soul Food Sunday and I cooked my ass off on Sunday. And then Monday, I did a whole lot of running around. I had things to do for my daughter. She had an appointment. So, mom things, and interfering in my day. It's hot. When you be out in this heat in Florida, it's exhausting. So after I had my, little running around that I did yesterday, that's why I couldn't come over here with y'all. But I was exhausted from, I think it was from Sunday. It was from all that cooking and then straight into Monday. And then here we are on Tuesday. So where are we going to start today? Let's start here. Lord, clear away all the negative energy from my life. Remove anyone who means harm, block my peace, or walks with hidden intentions. Surround me with protection, wisdom, love, and people who generally want good for me. Let peace fill my home, my heart, my mind, and my spirit. I think that's a good thing for everyday child. We don't want anybody in our way. It's Tuesday. We just trying to get through these days, you know what I'm saying, in our peaceful place. So if you're somebody who's out here trying to disrupt our peaceful place, we rebuke it. We not having anything to do with it. We gonna remove ourselves from it. Um, Anybody walking around trying to, like I said, disrupt our peace or have hidden intentions, I don't know why people have time for that. There's so much going on, you know what I'm saying, in your life from day to day out here trying to, I don't know, eat, put some gas in your car. Just the basic necessities are sometimes a challenge. So I don't need somebody with hidden intentions. Why do you have time for that? Why are you trying to wiggle your way into my space? What do they call them? Energy suckers, energy vampires. Get it going with that. We don't want that. Go and get now. Surround me with protection, wisdom, love, and people who generally want good for me. I think that's it's kind of easy, I feel like, to spot when somebody is genuinely in a good place, and they want to just, be in a good place and also be good to other people. It doesn't take a whole lot. Um, this isn't to toot my own horn. It's just something that kind of happened unexpectedly. I was walking with my daughter, and the crossing guard, you know, she said, I'm tired. This was last week. She's like, I'm tired. And I was like, I said something about coffee. Good morning, E Troop. And she said, you didn't bring me some coffee. And I said, you should have told me and I would have brought you one. It was just, a quick little back and forth between me and the crossing guard while I'm crossing the street. So this morning I went on my walk and I took her a cup of coffee. She wasn't expecting it. Good morning, Elsid. And I didn't do it for any other reason except for this lady has been a crossing guard for, as long as I've been over here, even, before my grandchildren were born. And so, of course, she asked me about the babies, but I appreciate these people that are out here on a day to day looking out for these children, because there's a lot of people who, have negative, bad things in mind, especially for children because they're vulnerable. So yeah, I shout out. I appreciate, even though my kids are, past that age, I appreciate the people that are out here doing, work for the community. Um, I seen a man this morning walking his kid to school. It was so funny to me because it was a little bitty kid. LC says to like, share, subscribe. So, while you're over here, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that too. Yeah, I seen this man, like it was a big joker too. I'm almost home and here comes this man with a small child and he's, just walking his kid to school. And my first thought was, because I've seen things in the community page about, these kids fighting and carrying on. And so, this man took it upon himself, and I appreciate that, to walk his child to school. And I was like, nobody gonna mess with him. I don't care how little he is. or she. I couldn't really tell. The kid had braids, but the fact of the matter is, this parent was like, I'm not about to send my kid out here. You know, I'm gonna walk my kid to school. And when these kids see, who your daddy is, how big your daddy is, they gonna think twice, you know what I'm saying, about messing with you. So yeah, like I said, shout out to the people out, looking out for the kids on their way to school, because not everybody has that. Surround me with protection, with wisdom. I did that, and let peace fill my home, my heart, and my mind and my spirit. It's not easy to find your peace. So if you got your little peaceful place, then make sure you hold on to it, because it's people out here trying to disrupt your peace. Even when you're walking along with your headphones on and you don't want to be bothered, here comes somebody with something trying to interrupt whatever it is you got going on. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get started. We got a few stories over here today, and let's get into it. We're going to start here with some Black excellence. A Black couple who purchased a $3.8 million hotel last year is now acquiring a second one with Black investors. Love to hear that. Especially in a place where, people trying to keep us from being in places that are just, I don't know, common and normal. Norland James and Dr. Amina Gilliard James are expanding their hospitality portfolio. I like that. Not the portfolio now. The couple acquired the Quality Inn in Memphis, Tennessee for $3.85 million with a group of first-time Black investors. They have now led the acquisition of a 120-room hotel in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Their investment group raised $2.8 million from Black investors for the deal. I mean, I love that, the people got together to make the thing happen. But they said in Memphis, LeBron, they're over here expanding and trying to make things nice in Memphis, and they have investors. Did you throw your coin over there, or are you just talking shit, LeBron? It's interesting to me how a lot of these things happen in the South, where the biggest fight to take things back, to great America, there's this surgence of Black excellence at the same time. Probably because the South is highly populated with Black folks. But yeah, anyway, the second deal advances Black ownership, wealth, and legacy in the industry. They hired a Black-owned management company for the property. Renovations will transform into an upscale Wyndham. Nice. So, they bought the property, so they're going to make it nice, like Dorinda. Dr. Amina James said, "We are creating a space for everyone. It will be perfect choice for accommodations, for vacations, family reunions, and business trips alike." I love to hear it, because, like I said, they always want to act like we can't do something, but putting our minds and our monies together, it can happen. These people, I'm sure, are used to a certain quality. And I feel like when you're talking about hotels and things, like, there's levels to it. I think there should be places available for everyone. You know what I mean? Not everybody can be on a LeBron James budget, but you can still experience something nice. You know what I'm saying? Without LeBron James money, especially since he ain't planning on coming over there. He'd rather just go to Nashville. And Memphis is one of the states that took the hardest hit in terms of gerrymandering and things. So shout out to these people for still creating a space that's going to welcome us in. Good morning to Go to Africa. It's good to see you over here this morning. We just getting started, because, because that's how we do over here, child. What's next on the agenda? Now, I thought this was interesting. I don't do dating apps and things, but I have in the past. I wasn't my thing. Have y'all ever done dating apps? I'm not a dating app person. I'm a chemistry person. I need to see what it's like in person. And the 2 dates that I did go on were, ugh. So yeah, I'm not a dating app person, but this is the generation. This is what they're doing. I feel like they kind of got away from it. Dating apps are kind of a way for people to be lazy. I feel like dating apps might be kind of killed the dating For a generation of people. It made people lazy. You got niggas that don't want to spend no money, that they sit up there and have 35 women on the line that they just get to, talk and send text to, and be nasty over, text and things, and don't have to put in any effort. So anyway, the Celibate app is a dating platform on iOS and Android designed specifically for celibate and abstinent singles. Rather than focusing on a casual swiping for typical mainstream platforms, it emphasizes meaningful connections over convenience. This is only going, I mean, this is for women. I don't know, for women, and I mean, some of those people that's trying to get into your life to disrupt your peace. But anyway, young lady, we'll see what happens here. It's a value driven matching tailored for individuals who want to build authentic relationships based on shared values, intentionality, and emotional depth. No pressure dating allows users seeking either serious commitments or value aligned compassion to connect without the expectations of early physical intimacy. They be out here, the young people, saying don't give these guys the blueprint. It seems like this is giving them the blueprint so they know exactly what to do in order to commit their shady flim flammy ways. It's often difficult for sometimes awkward to explain celibacy and abstinence on hookup culture apps. With at celibate app, what's your baseline from the beginning? That's your baseline from the beginning, so you don't have to negotiate your standards. I guess. That's how I feel about it. I feel like, I guess, child, I feel like these are things that you can definitely tell a person whether they're on the celibate app or not. Hey, Pack. Hey, High Vibe. 99% of people on that app are lying. See, that's how I feel like. That's what I feel like. I feel like if you're out here as a young person, I'm not going to say which sex it is. If you're out here as a young person, generally men are not driven to celibacy. That's not their thing. I would say for the most part. So, you got to just say it from the beginning. I don't know that this app is going to help at all. People need to stay off these apps. I just think it makes it easy for people to lie. I personally, have only been serious relationships with people um that knew people that I knew, like in real life, where they had real references from people I know, or somebody that I've had the opportunity to be around for a while. You know what I mean? Before I make the decision to go on to having sex. And dating apps are a playground for sociopaths. I don't disagree with that. And I think that this app, like I said, it kind of gives sociopaths, those type of people, the blueprint of what you want. It's not really a way, I feel like, to weed out anything that's happening over on other dating apps. I'm not going to knock it. I'm just saying, if you're living a life of celibacy, you can definitely say that. I don't know why it would be awkward. I don't know why it would be awkward to say that. When you get on a dating app or whatever, and y'all meet for coffee and try to find ways to get to know each other. I think that is like doing activities and knowing, like getting to learn a person's habits and that kind of thing. It takes time to get to know a person, and sex is going to happen when you're ready to have sex. So, coming on the app celibate doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. And I'm not going to stay there, as somebody who, how long are we waiting? Are you looking for friends? Are you looking for a relationship? Hola, ¿cómo está, Lotus Egyptian flower? I don't know. Like I said, it's a thought. It may work, it may not work. I don't know that this is any solution to a problem, but hey, we're gonna try it. We're gonna try celibate for at celibate app. Somebody gonna like it. I'm not out here on no app, so it doesn't affect me one way or the other. But some people need it because you know what's happening over here in Oklahoma? Oklahoma has passed a law banning child marriage, setting minimum marriage age at 18 with no exceptions. The bill passed the House 51 to 36, with all 36 opposing votes coming from Republicans. 36 men, I bet you. I haven't done any investigation. However, I feel like there's 36 men. If you're a woman over here voting, against this, then, that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. Um, Oklahoma has officially become the 17th U.S. state to fully ban child marriage, setting the minimum marriage age at 18 with no exceptions. States that have fully banned child marriage, it's a mess that there has to be a law that prohibits men, from marrying young women under the age of 18. And there's some weird ass women out there that do the same thing, but this is mostly a manosphere thing. Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Rhode Island, New York, Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut, Michigan, Washington, Virginia, New Hampshire, Maine, Oregon, Missouri, and Oklahoma are the states that have banned basically underage marriage. The remaining 33 states still legally allow minors to, under certain circumstances, such as parental consent. Why would that be a thing? I'm not sure. Judicial approval, pregnancy. That's no reason to get married to a child. How did she get pregnant? Who did it? Emancipation, or a judge signing off on the marriage. This is wild to me. To me, even if they're both teenagers, teenage pregnancy does not equate to marriage to me. That means people got to figure out how these kids are going to get educated and how this child is going to be cared for. That's what needs to happen. Getting these kids to get married is ridiculous, because why? Why? Because it says so in the book of rules. The rules been broken, so there's no need to make them worse. Let me see what y'all saying before I could continue. You said, this is El Cid, you met both of your husbands on dating apps. I mean, I'm not knocking the dating apps, because I know plenty of people that it's worked for. I'm just saying, you getting on there to saying you're being celibate doesn't make sense to me. Celibate. Yeah. Doesn't make sense to me. She says she met both her husbands on the dating app. She got 100% success rate, else it does. A few states have the legal age 14. Well, let's get back into it, and I'll go ahead and list what each state has. States that allow marriage from 16 and under: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas. Them A states is full of shit. Colorado, Florida, of course, Georgia, of course, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Hell, not many states. It's only 17 that this makes it illegal. States that allow marriage from 17 and under. Exceptions: North Dakota, Ohio, South Dakota, and others with limited judicial exception. I don't understand what judicial exception means for, children to be getting married. There shouldn't be an exception, to be honest. Like I said, for what? In many of these states, minors can still marry if parents approve, if a judge signs off on it, or if pregnancy is involved. Supporters of the ban say child marriage increased the risk of coercion, abuse, school dropout rates, and long-term harm to minors. How? How? They're still children. So it doesn't make sense. Yeah, so that's what's going on over here down to the down to the legislation. It's illegal to marry children. Uh-oh, y'all still talking about the dating apps. You said you met your narcissist ex on a dating app. His lying answer, what? But I'm glad it worked out for you. I know a couple of women who also had their spouses there. I agree. High five. I feel like I've heard people who it works for, and it wasn't a thing for me. Like I went on a couple of dates and I'm like, I prefer knowing the person, like getting a vibe from the person before. I don't really do good at like going, sitting and having dinner with somebody that's, I just met them and the energy on the phone never really matches the energy in person. Um, so I can't knock it, but I just don't know that going on there, I don't know how going on an app for celibate people, specifically for celibate people, and I don't know how that's going to protect you from anything because, like somebody said, that's just a platform for predators to get over there and try to break your celibacy. That's and you're telling them, and they go get over there and say all the things. You might as well just go on a regular app and say, "Listen here, I'm not about to be intimate with somebody until I get to know them. So if that's what your game is, then don't waste your time." But we got a whole app for it now. We'll see how that pans out for the young lady. There are wild folks on dating apps. We all need to stay safe. Some men are liars, and women who could be setting men up. It's true. It's true. It goes both ways. But I definitely feel like the whole selling celibacy is more of a women thing than a men thing. Let's see. You said a couple of my nieces use dating apps. One got married, the other's in a relationship. It's about a year old. Yeah. And I mean, I guess you have to be there. And there's also, to me, a such thing as destiny. I think you're destined to meet who you're supposed to meet. I can't say, hell, my picker online ain't really much. Me and my picker offline is not much better. I have had some doozies. Um, but you like what you like. And I don't know if your discernment is any better offline than it is online. But selling celibacy, like I said, is kind of like, is that if that's the draw, it doesn't make sense to me. Um, you say, let's see. I want to know what Christian organization supports that celibate app. Did they practice what they preach? How long is the celibacy supposed to last? I'm not sure, child. It's a marketing tool to get people on a dating app, and let's see how it works for a child. So you know how we feel about Amazon. Let me see. Y'all still talking. Let me see what you said over here. You said, I don't understand why people have to announce their celibacy. That's between you and the person. Announcing is kind of counterproductive. I don't get it either, to be honest. Because um it seems like it would be counterproductive also. Like if you're somebody like, I guess, like what kind of lifestyle was you living before that you feel like now I need to hold back on the sex? Like were you out there wilding out and you're like, listen, I need to cut that out before, let me move forward thinking like with, my brain and not with my body. So maybe that's why you feel the need to like make an announcement about it. I'm not somebody who jumps in one relationship after another. It takes me a lot. Some people are like out of one into another. I've never been that type of person. So when I'm taking a break, I'm taking a break, and it depends on how long. You know what I'm saying, in terms of how long it takes me to find somebody that makes me want to be that close to them, and so I don't feel like I need to announce that I'm not having sex. I'm not having sex if there's nobody like, in my life that I want to, be intimate with. And if I'm going out on one date with you, that's for me to determine like whether or not I like you. If you get past a couple few dates, now where are you moving into? You keep seeing this person, and that's up to each individual how long they want to hold out, I suppose. But I don't get, like you said, the announcement. If I'm not seeing anyone, then I'm probably not having sex. And if you out here having sex with just randoms, maybe you should go ahead and become celibate and relax, sit your ass down somewhere. It's too much going on for that. You're setting yourself up for somebody to cosplay the same thing. Yep, because a liar is a liar. He don't care about your app. Like, were you a hoe? You said, like, were you a hoe? That would be my thought. I'm gonna leave you alone. You gotta shut your thing down. You gotta shut it down. There's been too much traffic coming through here. We have to stop. Anyway, speaking of traffic, thank you, High Vibe, for the segue. Amazon has officially launched a 1 hour shipping. The US is over 100 cities. I hate everything about this, but here we go. Y'all and y'all's Amazon. Amazon is making the fastest delivery push yet in the US, officially launching a new 1 hour and 3 hour delivery options across orders across the country. What could you possibly be ordering from Amazon that you need in 1 hour? The service covers more than 90,000 products, including household essentials. I need toilet paper. Amazon me in an hour. Pantry items, cleaning supplies, health and beauty products, over the counter medications, electronics, toys, clothing. We need toys within an hour. Clothing within an hour doesn't make sense. Accessories and home goods. Amazon says 1 hour delivery is available in hundreds of US cities and towns, while 3 hour delivery is available in more than 2,000 cities and towns. The rollout includes major metro areas such as Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Nashville, Oklahoma City, Washington, D.C., along with smaller cities like Des Moines, Boise, and American Fork. Where in the world is American Fork? Utah. Okay, where's American Fork? Utah. Customers can check availability through Amazon Get It Fast page they have a Get It Fast page where your eligible items are labeled inside the same day shopping experience. The fastest service does come with extra fees, of course. Reports say Prime members pay $9.99 for 1 hour delivery and $4.99 for 3 hour delivery, while non-Prime customers pay $19.99 and $14.99 respectively. So you got to pay for Prime plus $10 or $5 more if you want your shit to get there in an hour, which makes no sense to me. Amazon's move puts more pressure on competitors like Walmart, Target, FedEx, and UPS as shoppers continue to expect faster delivery times. FedEx announced the same day delivery option shortly after Amazon's rollout, showing how quickly delivery race is heating up. What a mess. What happens if there's traffic and you don't get there in an hour? I mean, you need to you place your order and they already running a slave ship down to the Amazon warehouse. What is happening? While Amazon is promoting the feature as major convenience upgrade, it's not available for every product or every address. The 1 hour option applies only to eligible items in supported areas, meaning customers will need to check their location before assuming the service is available. Overall, the viral headline is mostly true, but can be more accurate version would be Amazon has officially launched a 1 hour delivery in hundreds of US cities. It don't matter. I think this is crazy. I think this is absolutely crazy. What could you possibly need to order within an hour? And what does that mean for the people that's working there? Y'all still talking about the dating app? Good morning, Jatoni. You said, why should there be a Prime subscription for it? It makes no sense because that's how they do. They have you get your regular Amazon Prime, and that you know, then if you want to get like, your cornflakes within an hour, you check and see on the page, on the fast page, and say, I'm starving, I need cornflakes. Can I get it in an hour? And then you check the page and you can see if your cornflakes are available. I don't understand at all. Just trying to see what y'all talking about over here before I move forward. Y'all are talking about the Celibacy Act. Anyway, on to the next thing. Y'all gonna get enough of Amazon. I don't understand. I don't understand the mentality. I wonder what that looks like when I'm in the grocery store and the Walmart delivery people are in their blue carts shopping for people's groceries, which I have ordered plenty of time, but it's a jungle in there and then people be running over you with the carts. It just doesn't even make sense. Like I said, I think Walmart should warehouse its groceries separate from, the public anyway, because it's the old people in there. And then you have the people, the DoorDash or delivery people running around in the grocery store, what do they call it? Ship and all of those different people running around in the grocery store. It's a battlefield out there. Now the Amazon warehouse people are going to be required to get it there in an hour. And those Amazon trucks are going to be driving like a fool because that's what they do. They put quotas on these people and it'll be a danger zone out there. Speaking of danger zones, here go these cars again. Waymo recalls nearly 4,000 self-driving cars after driving directly into a flooded road. This is why I could not be in no self-driving car, because robots don't have, common sense. They just doing what they're told to do. Program this in, drive me in. And them flash floods, you'll be, whew. Anyway, Waymo is recalling 3,800 I hate this word, autonomous taxis after software issues reportedly allowed some vehicles to drive into standing water. The recall follows an incident in San Antonio where a self-driving vehicle entered a flooded creek during a severe weather and was reportedly swept away. Wow. According to documents filed with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the issue involved how the vehicle detected and responded to flooded road conditions. I guess it said I can do it. The incident has sparked another wave of debate online surrounding the safety and reliability of autonomous driving technology as robo-taxis continue expanding across major cities. So far, this Waymo car has drove on the train track when, the city train is driving. It has you can't drive it unless somebody come close the door. So you get dropped off on your Waymo or get picked up or however, somebody got to come close the door. You could have drowned in a Waymo. Yeah, because you know how those flash floods happen. It's like 1 minute the car does not have, a regular brain. What else did it do? The Waymo let's see, there's another one. We'll get into it. They over here riding around. Let me just let you listen. Oop. They in here riding around the neighborhood.
Up a neighborhood cul-de-sac. The people living in the Northwest Atlanta neighborhood say dozens end up circling their community. Channel 2 Steve Gelbach is on one street where they want the Waymos to stop.
It's almost every little cul-de-sac around our area. So I think it's a real problem.
Waymo after Waymo after Waymo enter this dead-end street, usually early in the morning.
I think yesterday morning we had 50 cars that came through between 6 and 7.
Neighbors on Battleview Drive started seeing the autonomous driverless cars 2 months ago, but the groupings and large number of Waymos just started circling in and out in the last couple weeks. They even shared video with us when neighbors used this little guy to put him right out here in the street to block the Waymos from getting into the cul-de-sac, and you can imagine what happened next.
And we had at one point 8 Waymos that were stuck trying to figure out how to turn around.
The Waymos are empty and not picking anyone up, and parents are worried. Not only
Video here captured several of the self-driving.
Kidding me?
That car flying through that neighborhood. What the hell? That is creepy.
Waymo after Waymo after Waymo enter this dead-end street, usually early in the morning.
I think yesterday morning we had 50 cars that came through between 6 and 7.
They even shared video with us when neighbors used.
That's wild. So residents in an Atlanta neighborhood say empty Waymo self-driving cars have been repeatedly driving through their cul-de-sac early in the morning, creating traffic and safety hazards. Apparently, the issue began weeks ago, so it's been going on for weeks, with dozens of driverless vehicles entering this and circling the dead-end street, even with no passengers inside. One resident estimated about 50 Waymo cars passing through in one single hour. That's a lot of cars in any neighborhood in an hour. Oh my gosh. She said early in the morning, families say constant traffic worries parents with children's pets and school bus activity nearby. After residents placed a children's safety sign in the road, several Waymo vehicles reportedly became stuck trying to turn around. This sounds like, did y'all see that movie with Julia Roberts and all this weird stuff start happening and all the Waymo's cars or the, self-driven cars start crashing into each other? Neighbors say that they contacted Waymo and local officials for help. In response, Waymo said it values community feedback and has already corrected the routing problem while continuing to focus on safety operations in Atlanta. What routing problem? Why is it having a routing problem on their own? Why are these cars just speeding, flying through this neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? Somebody is at home programming the cars to circle the neighborhood. Maybe, but they said, it was a routing problem. That's from the Waymo company. They put a damn cone. What do you call them? Those traffic cones can change your life. You're trying to get in your neighborhood and it's 50 Waymos piled up in front of a traffic cone because they don't know what to do. And so if you're not stuck, that's freaking creepy. Like, can you imagine being in your house? This is a nice neighborhood. Could you imagine being in your house? It would make me think like it's the end of the world, some, nonsense. The cars are taking over. Seems like they are. Now, you want me to get in it and I might end up in a flood? I seen somebody say something about that water. That was Lotus. You said San Antonio is known for its area flooding, so the Waymo cars should not be operating on rainy days. That's when you need one. You can't drive to work. You can't walk to work in the rain. I don't need no Waymo. I'm not getting in no self-driving car. I'm sick and tired of robots already. Because why? Because why? This is bound to happen. Every robot movie we've ever seen, this is how it starts. This is how the tragedy starts. It's a new neighborhood. Maybe it's roads they didn't know about. I mean, that's the thing is, though, like, why is it driving through the neighborhoods? I feel like the Waymo car, like, don't you have to order it? Why are they just driving around? 50 of them through the neighborhood? The company needs to go back to the drawing board. Yeah, and hire an actual driver. That might help. Anyway, more artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence was sold to many corporations as a way to cut costs, speed up work, and reduce the need for human labor. But a new wave of reports show us that AI is not always the cheap replacement companies expected. In some cases, the cost of running AI tools is now becoming a major budget problem. Axios recently reported that some companies are spending more on AI compute and software than they spend on employee salaries. One striking example came up from Nvidia executive Brian Castanzaro, who said that company of compute for its team is far beyond the cost for employees themselves. Uber is another major example. According to reports citing Uber CTO Praveen Nega, the company burned through its planned 2026 AI budget in only a few months. So we're just to May and they already done spent their AI budget. How much of the water have they used flying through AI that they, anticipated was supposed to last them for the year? The main driver was heavy use of AI coding tools such as Claude Code and Cursor by Uber engineers. The problem is not just the price of one chatbot subscription. At corporate scale, AI spending includes compute GPUs, model access, token usage, infrastructure, data systems, security, software subscriptions. A tool that seems cheap for one person can become extremely expensive when thousands of employees are using it all day. I bet. This does not mean AI is useless or that humans are always cheaper. In many situations, AI can still save time and money, but the current lesson for larger companies is clear. AI is not automatically a cost-cutting machine. Without strict budgeting, usage limits, and clear return on investments, AI can become another expensive corporate bill, especially since more than likely you need a person to do all the, IT work or however the hell compute works. However it works when you're using AI. Let's see. Too many people have perished trying to cross flooded areas. Are y'all talking about the Waymo cars? Wait, no more problems. Yeah, I've never wanted to get into a self-driving car. And just like that, like I said, there's natural disasters and a traffic cone can cause a disaster. They driving through your neighborhood. What happened if somebody's kid, like they said, gets plowed over because the car didn't sense it? What a mess. What'd you say? You found a gold mine when you found this channel? Thank you, Ja Tony. It's a lot of smart people in this chat for sure. I appreciate y'all. So, the AI conversation continues. I feel like it's something that we talk about every day. I'm not mad at the artificial intelligence, but we need to find a way to make it work with humans and not to replace humans, because that's not going to work. And we need people driving the cars. So there's that. For the first time since the Great Depression, more people are moving out of the U.S. than entering. Imagine that. For the first time since the Great Depression, the U.S. is experiencing net negative migration, with the Brookings Institute and U.S. Census Bureau estimating a population deficit of 150,000 to 295,000 people. Arrivals have declined sharply due to stricter border enforcement, reduced visa issuances, and the suspension of humanitarian programs. Probably DEI. DEI did it. At least 180,000 American citizens permanently relocated abroad in 2025 alone, 180,000 last year, with the total departures reaching approximately 2.2 million, including non-citizens and visa holders. Primary reasons cited include rising costs of housing, healthcare and food, remote work flexibility, safety concerns, and dissatisfaction with the political climate. We should put that in the front of the list. Analysis warn that deficit could reduce labor force and customer spending, potentially cutting 60 billion to 110 billion from US GDP through 2026 while adding pressure to the national debt. Is anybody surprised by this? I think about it daily, something that I've never thought about before. I think about it daily of getting the hell out of here. Why? Because it becomes more and more apparent that they don't want us here. And I told my daughter, like, it feels uncomfortable to think about doing something that, is change is hard. But I was telling her, I was like, why do we have to stay here? We don't have to stay here. We were born here. We don't have to stay here. We can definitely experience other things. What the heck? Yeah, my mouse didn't disappear. If I ain't gonna do nothing, I'm gonna have some type of technical difficulty. That's for damn sure. I am so sorry. I don't even know how to make it right. Ooh, there we go. Whew. Ciao. You say, I love that people are moving abroad to live out their best life. I hope to join them one day. I agree, Lotus Egyptian Flower. I am currently just trying to do my research on where I would like to go. You said we either go on our own free will or they will suffocate us with oppressive laws. Yeah, I'm trying to make it where, they said 30-30. They're trying to do away with the middle class anyway, so we won't be able to own homes and things. Who is it? BlackRock buying up all the properties and things. And it's like, I don't know if y'all watch Black Mirror, but there was this episode of Black Mirror with this guy. Who was he? I can't remember his name, but it was the guy from Get Out, the actor from Get Out, and he was in Wakanda also in Black Panther. But there was, this world where you run on the treadmill in order to earn your points for things. And so you were living your life based on how much you were running on this damn treadmill. And that's what it feels like, this world is moving to. I don't know, like, what they have in store for citizens. And I feel like, people looking at us as Black people like we're it. We're not it. Y'all are it too. And sooner y'all realize that, the better things will be, because the way they're working on things, like, I don't have no problem to getting the hell out of here. What'd you say? To go to Africa? I wish I could move. I talk about moving to another country almost every day. So do I, to go to Africa. And it's something that I have never talked about before. And now I'm like, talking to my family about getting prepared, because I don't want to wait until the last minute. I do think, though, like, based on this lifestyle here, I was looking at Panama. I've been looking at Panama because I need brown people around me. But they said you could be middle class if you're earning $3,500 a month. And over here, they're trying to do away with middle class. The older I get, the less I need. So you said our homes will be taken or undervalued. People say buying land or build, but buy land here, though, because I don't know that that's, the solution. You said you just Facebooked your boy Adam from Harlem, and now he's living in Ghana. A lot of people have gone to Ghana. I don't know if that's what, I don't know if that's where I'm supposed to be. A lot of people are going there. You have to, like, study the governments in other places before you hop up and go, though, because you might just find yourself in the same situation or worse. Thailand has rapidly grown. I've seen a lot of people are going to Thailand. I don't know, like you were saying, to go to Africa. I think about it every day, and I've heard a lot of good things about Thailand too from the people who have visited there. You say you watch videos every day about people who've moved and who appear to, yeah. I just and I saved a video of this couple talking about, I think they were saying 7 or 8 different the countries, that for Black people to relocate to. I'm gonna watch it today and we'll probably talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, I it's on my mind every day, and clearly not on just my mind, because 180,000 people, got the hell out of here last year. It's like I'm not watching the people run out, and I'm gonna just stay here and hold down what? Should friends expect discounts from friends who own businesses? This is a big one for me. My friends don't do this, but I feel like a lot of people do. Owning a business can quickly blur the line between friendships and finances. While some people believe friends should automatically receive discount prices, others argue that real support means paying full price to help the business grow. Business experts have noted that constant friends and family discount can hurt a small business financially and create uncomfortable expectations within the relationship. I agree, because I mean, when you do a business and you do your budget, you don't budget for making sure all your friends get a discount. Many entrepreneurs also believe true friends should want to invest in their success instead of looking for cheaper deals. TJ Bree, the Jasmine Brand crew. Do you expect your friends to pay full price for services? I do. My friends never even ask me about that. Um, and I do offer like special discounts. I definitely offer discounts to my friends, but I don't feel like it's something that you should feel entitled to just because you are a friend. I would never go to my friend's business. I'm over there to support what they're doing. I'm not looking for a discount. You know what I'm saying? Friends and family and those type of things, I feel like as a business, you budget it in for, like, say the month of June, friends and family get a discount. Like, you could do it like that, but as a business, I'm not sure I'm walking over here. I don't expect it anywhere else. I'm not sure why you would expect it from your friends. You said your parents have owned their land and home for 40 plus years. Now the city wants their land. The dream that we brought is into, yeah, oh yeah. They gonna look for excuses to not to come take your land. I feel like the way they're trying to rewrite the Constitution, that's their plan altogether. But yeah, so should you expect a discount from your friends? I think not. I think you support the business, and we talk about it often over here. Go spend your dollars on black businesses. You know what I'm saying? How else are we going to thrive? We can't have it both ways. We can't be like, I mean, I wish we were having these places and, these products and things that cater to us, and, we feel left out as a community, and then don't want to go pay the support the business. It doesn't make sense. I see Actively Black online all the time talking about how people will say his products are too high, and then turn around and go buy Polo and Ralph Lauren, Polo, Gucci, all of that foolishness. But then when you get over here, to a black designer, black business, black company, you like, oh, that's high, $50-$60 for a sweatshirt when you're paying like that everywhere else. So, we do it to ourselves, I think, a lot of the times. And no, you do not deserve a discount. You ain't my friend if you don't want to support my business. And like I said, my friends don't do that. For my friends, I will go above and beyond. Like, I'll go out of the way for them, like come earlier, stay later. I definitely do favors for my friends, but as a business, I'm here to run a business, and that's that. So I can't thrive if I'm giving. Not everybody want to be a friend. I remember when I was working at the club and everybody wanted to come to the door asking for the owner. Do you not have your whatever, $10, however much it was to get in here? Because if you don't, you should have stayed home. Don't come over here asking for somebody to come, let you in free or give you a discount just because I know you. What'd you say? You said I pay full price and tip. And tip. Ooh, it keeps on leaving me. I pay full price and tip friends who own businesses. Though when I found out they were giving homie hookups to other people, I stopped doing business with them. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't do homie hookups necessarily. Like if it's outside of the business, if you come into my place of work, you should be expected to pay, what's on the menu. My friend's son was paying $700 for some designer sneakers, while all of them were all while full of them. I'm like, sis, I'm misunderstanding. Your friend was paying $600 or $700 for some designer sneakers, a wall full of them. Yeah, I mean, if you got it, $600-700 for some sneakers, I wouldn't do it. But who is the designer's name on it? That's when you're like, do you own your home? What is this money going to? $600-700 for some sneakers, and the fact of the matter is, they were probably made in the same factory with cheaper brand sneakers, but they got a label plastered all over it. So now for whatever reason, people feel like that makes them more valuable. But I think it's important to support businesses and not have expectations of discounts. This was unfortunate. I saw this story. So it says, following Mallard Creek High School losing their state championship, the team coach is pushing back on claims that the runner was ever warned before the disqualification. As previously reported, Mallard Creek lost after Nyan Brown raised his hand in celebration before crossing the finish line. I don't know why this is a thing, which officials ruled as unsportsmanlike conduct. I wish they would stop with this. I feel like you should be able to celebrate if you win. If you get down to the end zone and do a little touchdown dance, do the damn dance. What is unsportsmanlike conduct? I don't understand. Now head coach Sam Wilboy is speaking out, saying Brown was never warned, despite contradicting reports claiming he had already received prior warning earlier in the meet. When they warn an athlete, they call the coach in and say, if it happens again, he's disqualified. Willoughby told outlets he was never warned. He was never given a personal message saying, don't do it again. According to reports, Mallard Creek has officially filed an appeal with the Interscholastic Athletic Appeals Board in hopes of overturning the ruling. They're asked to either have the disqualification reversed or be named co-state champions alongside Jordan High School. So this was the celebration, which is, completely baffling to me.
Do want to get out there that he was not warned. I know that's the message that people want to say, well, if he was warned before, why did he do something again? He was never warned. He was never given a personal message to say, don't do this again. We're watching you. Never. I do want to get out there that he was not warned. I know that.
So you mean to tell me that this young man crossed the finish line and put his hand up, and that's considered a celebration worth disqualifying them for the championship? This, to me, just doesn't make sense at all. You talking about your friends 35 still living at home? Oh, you said the celebration. How about now? Here I am. StreamYard has been working me over. I can't stand it. I am back on stage, so I'm guessing y'all can hear me now. I didn't move on to the next subject yet. I was just still talking about I don't understand how putting his hand up is a celebration. I think that's bull. I think if you are an athlete, you should be able to handle a little celebration. I think as an athlete, when you win, you deserve to have a little celebration for yourself. This kid putting his hand up is not a celebration. So I think the board needs to be reevaluated and wondering like what crybaby son was over here, being a loser in order for those to be rules that had to be put in place. But it is what it is. This lady be doing things, don't she? Don't she be over here having unsportsmanlike performances down to the basketball court? Y'all's favorite, not y'all's favorite, because she ain't my favorite, and she's not former Indianapolis mayoral candidate. She ain't his favorite either. Calls out Caitlin Clark for association with an alleged anti-Black racist country singer, Morgan Wallen. It's time to buy an Angel Reese jersey. That's what he said. Don't put Angel in this, former mayoral candidate. This is not about Angel. Like, I get where you're going with it, but this is about Caitlin. Former Indianapolis mayoral candidate and community activist Cliff Marziglio is going viral after publicly criticizing Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark over her recent appearance alongside controversial country music star Morgan Wallen during his Indianapolis concert weekend. Marziglio posted, "Time to buy an Angel Reese jersey," before adding, "I love the Fever. I hate anyone who minimizes a racist." Is that what she doing? Or maybe she is a racist. We don't know. She ain't said nothing ever about any of the nonsense that's going on in the WNBA. In more comments, Marziglio questioned Clark's public association with Wallen and saying he would rather support Angel Reese. The post quickly sparked a heated debate across Indianapolis social media, with conversations centering around race, celebrity accountability, sports culture, and whether public figures should continue facing backlash after years of controversies. I mean, it is what it is. Backlash is going to be what it's going to be. Stand in your business. Morgan Wallen remains one of the biggest names in country music, but his career has also remained tied to a major 2021 controversy after he was caught on video using N-word outside his Tennessee home. I mean, he meant it. Following the incident, Wallen publicly apologized multiple times, was temporarily suspended by his record label, a major radio stations, and later donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Black-led organizations and causes. So he wanted to pay his way out of it to fix the publicity. Despite those actions, many critics still believe the incident should not simply be forgotten and argued that continuing to elevate or celebrate Wallen publicly minimizes the seriousness of racist language and its impact. Honestly, I don't really care what he do. He said how he feel. I don't think he should be required to do anything, necessarily. His fan base is probably fine with it. I mean, say with your chest, Wallen. Supporters of Marziglio praised him for speaking openly about the issue, with one commenter thanking him for standing up against racism and saying Indianapolis is still has a long way to go when it comes to conversations surrounding race and accountability. I don't like that he mentioned Angel Reese because it ain't got nothing to do with her. So, seems like he's doing his own version of, using Black people to build his own, agenda, whatever it is. Clark's appearance with Wallen comes as an excitement around Indiana Fever season continues to grow nationally, with Clark remaining one of the most talked about athletes in America. The viral moment has now become another example of how conversations around Caitlin Clark often evolve into broader national debates involving race, culture, celebrity, influence, and sports fandom. Like I said, I feel two ways about it. Let me see what y'all saying. She has the right to date a racist. We have a right not to support her because of a relationship. I agreed to go to Africa. I don't care who she's dating. Clearly, this is not a problem for her. And I don't know that she should do anything. You know what I mean? She's allowed to be with who she want to be with. He was over here saying, nigga, it wasn't a problem for her. And if to be honest, I feel like if that's how he feels, he should have just stayed where he was at with it. Him donating money doesn't change anything for me. But I will say this. Let me see what you're saying. When I learned about Morgan saying racial slurs, I deleted all his music. And a racist with talents, we know him as Caitlyn had. We knew which side Caitlyn had been on. I agree. I don't know if I'm familiar with any of his music, and I like country music. I don't know that I'm familiar with it, but I feel like we would be doing that with a lot of people. They over here saying it. There was a conversation. I can't remember who was talking about it. Oh, I was watching Chris and Jay Lee. They were talking about Chris has been having all these people on his platform. He had Jay Lee from Jay Lee's Corner on there, and they were talking about Pinky being called aggressive, by the other women on the cast and how it's different. And I feel the same way about the N-word. Like, we say it, I say it. You know what I'm saying? I try sometimes not to say it over here, but it is what it is. Now, but coming from a Black person versus coming from a white person, the meaning is different. So he felt how he felt. And whatever, he's not a changed person. He was just trying to Olivia Pope that thing and so he could say, I donated to Black. Thank you for your money. So we go take that coin, but it is what it is. But I feel like the narrative has always been Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Shout out to RG3, because that was like the tagline for, one of his viral videos. The hate comes from racism. So maybe, Stephen A. Smith was out here caping for Caitlyn because, that's what he does too. And always this narrative that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Even this mayoral candidate, I get where he's going. You should not have brought up Angel Reese, though, I feel like. Just say what it is. You could have easily said, it seems like Caitlin Clark is aligning herself with some well-known racist. You know what I'm saying? Have that conversation. Leave Angel out of it and any of the other, Black athletes. Caitlin, it is what it is. Stay with your man, girl. They want to be over here like saying that the NBA hates her because she's straight. So she's straight over here with a racist. And they can, do whatever it is they need to do over here. I'm going to have to go listen to see what he even sing. To go to Africa. I never liked his music from when the first time I saw him complete. Oh, he was on The Voice. Who was his person? Blake Shelton? Because The Voice is a highly mid-American show. I watched The Voice and then kind of fall off after the audition process. She was dating a man after she went into the NBA, into the WNBA. Caitlyn would be there for white savior. I mean, I don't even really care so much about the whole whether she, like he said, she should be on the celibacy app. Is she celibate? Oh, Seven Summers was your jam. Now I can't listen to it anymore. Adam Levine was his judge, his coach. Adam is problematic as well. I mean, I'm going to go see what he sings, see if I'm familiar with it. Because I listen to country music, but I don't always know who the singers are. I just hear a song and I like it. Well, I don't feel like this changes my opinion of Caitlyn. I think she is exactly who we thought she was. And Caitlyn, keep doing what you're doing. Ain't nobody asking you to come over here, but I think, like I said, I clicked on this story not so much because of who she's dating, but hate comes with racism. So when you're talking about Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. I think the bigger conversation or the bigger realization is Caitlin Clark aligns herself with white supremacy, and maybe that's where the hate is coming from. Hey, T. Speaking of country music, got another segue for y'all. New course centering Beyonce and her Cowboy Carter album set to be taught at Harvard University. I had a feeling about this. I still feel two ways about it. Harvard University is set to launch a new course centered on Beyonce and her critically acclaimed Cowboy Carter album, further cementing the superstar's cultural and academic influence. The class will reportedly explore themes of Black identity, country music history, America, and Beyonce's impact on music politics. Pop culture through the lens of the groundbreaking project. Cowboy Carter, which blends country, folk, soul, and Southern Black musical traditions, sparked widespread conversation following its release for challenging long-standing narratives within the country music genre. The course is expected to examine how Beyonce used the album to spotlight and overlooked contributions of Black artists to country music while reshaping conversations around race and representation in America. Let's just leave. Let's stop trying to convince them of anything. Let's just go. Harvard joins a growing list of universities offering courses focused on influential artists and their societal impact. Scholars say Beyonce's work provides rich material for discussion surrounding feminism, Black culture, artistic innovation, media influence, making Cowboy Carter an ideal centerpiece for academic study. The announcement has already generated major buzz online, with fans praising the move as another example of Beyonce's lasting legacy, reaching far beyond entertainment. Can I just say, Cowboy Carter was not a country album. First, I'd rather register for the Nas class. I feel like this conversation should not just be surrounded around Beyonce, because, like I said, to me, Cowboy Carter was not a country album, and I think there's other country artists that need to be included. I get why Beyonce is the catalyst because she's Beyonce, but hopefully this course has more to offer than just whatever's on the Cowboy Carter album, because it, to me, wasn't great, to be honest, and it definitely wasn't country. You said there have been a bunch of recording artists who have had college courses centered around them. Yeah, I agree. And I said I see why Beyonce is the catalyst because she's Beyonce, but hopefully, the conversation will go deeper than Beyonce. They did point out different things that they're going to study in terms of, how Black people are represented in country music and what their contribution was. Did the album do that? I just saw people wearing a bunch of cowboy gear. It was not a great country album to me. Like I said, hopefully during this course, there will be other people, Charlie Pride. Let's go all the way back to the people who, were really in the beginning as the single Black people in country music. I wonder if they're doing this because Jay-Z made a huge donation to the school. Probably. I would say probably yes. And that's not different than most situations. You know what I'm saying? As long as when we get there, we having the right conversations. Can Beyonce's career be a business course in marketing? It damn well should be. It It damn well should be for her to market this country album into a course at Harvard. Now that's amazing. Um, I I'm not a beehive. I like some of Beyonce's songs and some of them not so much. The Cowboy Carter album didn't do it for me. I listened to it once and I never listened to it again, but you know, it is what it is. She's over here trying to according to her put a spotlight on country artists. Well, then let's spotlight them. I hear Shabuzi came out and he made a song about, you know, everybody in the club getting tipsy. We know that ain't no country record. You ain't no Hiver either. I'm not a member of any stands. I love Mariah, but I'm not going to call myself a lamb, even though my kids be telling me I'm low-key a lamb. But I don't think Mariah's fans be out here, you know, attacking people on the internet. You said I'm not a beehive or a stand for anyone. And, you know, if you've listened to the Cowboy Carter album as somebody who likes country music, you're going to find it to not be that great of an album. But, you know, here Beyonce is, you know, doing whatever it is she does. The Carters have me feeling a way about them based on the way they be sitting down at tables with the likes of Jeff Bezos and the Trumpsters and things. So we'll see. I won't be attending Harvard anytime soon. Congratulations, Beyonce, on whatever it is you're doing over here. You know, using your money to honor yourself. This lady right here, this is real short. Stormy Wellington, you know, she had to pivot because the FDA came for her business and said she was over here lying to the people when she told them that she could make them $1 million. So she's out here now. She got a new game. Coach Stormy is now teaching women how to be wives. Do y'all need any lessons in that? This is what Coach Stormy had to say.
The last thing, you can get money anywhere, but who can help you become a woman, a wife? A woman, I'm not even married, but I can teach you how to be a wife. Money is the last thing. You can get money anywhere, but who can help you become a woman, a wife? A woman, I'm not even married, but I can teach you how to be a wife. Money is
one thing about it, you don't need a license for that, Dr. Coach Stormy. She could teach a woman how to be a wife, but she's not a wife. So there's that. She is standing in the middle of a garage. That's what that looks like, a garage door. Are y'all signing up for this? I'm so confused by the people that were led by Coach Stormy. I even heard Funky Dineva say she said some things that was motivating. She is not motivating. I think she seems like a scammer to me. You know, I never been to one of her conventions or anything. She's not earned not a single bit of my coin. But I want to know, like, what does that look like? How do you teach a woman how to be a wife? I am not a wife, but I could teach you how to be one. I am not a surgeon, but, you know, I could tell you how to perform one. Come on. I'm not even married, but I could teach you how to be a wife. That's what she said. Look what they make us do to survive. What is that? Coming up with courses that don't make sense. What, first of all, is a wife? And how do you teach that course, especially if you're not one? Is she in a relationship? Is she single? I'm going to need a wife to teach me how to be a wife. I've never been one. I don't plan on being one. But, I mean, if there's a course that's out here about becoming a wife, I need somebody to actually have matrimony themselves to someone. Because, geez, OP, she should go on a credentialless hypocrite. Yes, I said her and Dr. Cheyenne sound the same. You know, they still obliterating Dr. Cheyenne over here. And I think it's funny because when she opened her mouth on that Joe Budden podcast and said she didn't need a license to perform. I'm talking about Cheyenne right now. She went on Joe Budden and said she didn't need a license to, you know, perform her, you know, psychology expertise. And Dr. Lamont Hill was on that show. And he left. And I saw him on, he has his own show. He was actually talking to a licensed psychologist They were over there having some conversations, amongst people who have real doctorates. He said, yeah, she was on the Joe Budden podcast, but I had to leave. And I was like, he left on purpose. He is not going to be able to convince me that he didn't leave on purpose because he didn't want to be affiliated or have any of his credentials like lean into validating any of the bullshit she was saying over there. They have not got off her shoulders. And she riding around making videos of being unbothered. And one thing I know about unbothered people who are making unbothered videos is they are very bothered. That's what I think. Dangerous talk. If these women are failing for this, it's going to be another Nature Boy situation. We're going to talk about Nature Boy tomorrow because I need to focus on really there's so much. If y'all haven't watched the Nature Boy documentary on Hulu, I have had on Nature Boy, there's a whole series on YouTube that somebody put out that I have looked at a few of them, and this Nature Boy thing goes way far beyond what was going on Hulu. But I feel like Dr. Coach, she gonna be a doctor from now on. We call it every unlicensed person that thinks they could be an expert in things. Dr. Coach Stormy over here, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, Dr. Umar, Nature Boy. There's something about the need to be led by foolishness that I am so curious about, and why these people are such a thing. It's mind-boggling. You said, Judge Tony, the young generation can't be falling for everyone who has never done work. You can watch the Nature Boy. Yeah. The thing, Lotus Egyptian Flower with Nature Boy is he's not charismatic. He doesn't sound smart, but neither does Cheyenne. She doesn't sound smart. She sounds smarter than Nature Boy, but when I'm listening to Cheyenne, I'm like, she is not sounding like somebody who's legitimately doing anything besides pimp talk. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like pimp talk, that stuff that she does. You said the documentary doesn't tell the full story. Yeah, the documentary is such a short little, it's like a cliff note compared to the series on YouTube. And there's so much. So I think there's 26, 30 episodes of it. There's so much that was going on over there with Nature Boy. And I was like, how does this happen though? Whatever he was selling wasn't even, he would, I think, wake up and change from day-to-day basis. But like I said, we'll get into him a little bit. I'll send you the clip, T, but there's a lot of it on YouTube. The documentary is on Hulu. I would say go ahead and watch the Hulu documentary. There's 4 parts to it. But then there's a breakdown of YouTube of all the things he had gone on. Who's the corn star? Nature Boy? Is he? No, he in jail. So, yeah, y'all, we got to be careful out here. Let's go back to where I was in the beginning. What'd I say? Oh, everything has been, since I got kicked out of the darn, since I got kicked out of the studio, thanks to StreamYard over here doing whatever the heck they want to do. Lord. We go start here. Clear away all the negative energy from my life. Remove anyone who means harm, blocks my peace, or walks with hidden intentions. I think that's the one right there. These people are walking with hidden intentions, and it's scary. You already watched the documentary? Yeah, go on YouTube then. Go on YouTube, and there's a whole, I'll send you a clip. It's Hood Somebody that broke down all of the things. I just kind of turn it on from time to time just to see what was going on. But it was a lot more going on than that YouTube documentary. But Hulu, but I'm guessing they can only do so much. Let's see. What's the next? Of course, Coach Stormy's still over here running her mouth about how she can teach somebody how to be a wife. This is what's wrong with this generation. They think being famous get them whatever they want. They got people like Coach Stormy and Dr. Cheyenne over here lying. Now they think they're supposed to just get whatever they want whenever they want. I'm going to pause it for a second. So I don't know who Samaya is, but Samaya went over here to this taco restaurant and they were closed and she thought she was supposed to get served. Samaya couldn't believe a taco shop refused to serve her after she said she was famous because they were closed. I don't know what she's famous for. Do y'all know her? She's famous for being a fool right now.
Y'all closed? I got some money for you.
We are closed.
I'm famous. You can't do me like that. Can't make me a taco? Damn, nigga. I can't get a chicken taco? Just make me a taco. Sit down. I give you $100. You don't want $100? Oh, wait, chair. Wow, that's crazy. That's fucked up, man. You gonna do that in front of 20,000 people? That's crazy. Wait, look. She's a famous. I'm hungry, bro. Fuck this shit. I wanna go home.
McDonald's.
Huh? Yeah, let's go to McDonald's. Hey, La Maria. Fuck you.
This is what happens when you allow these kids to think that an influencer means something. You at a taco place that's closed. These people been working all day. This is in LA, I believe. So you know they busy. And you get here when it's closed talking about y'all can't give me no taco. I'm famous. I don't know who she is. If you got to tell somebody you famous, girl, you are not famous. You said it tickles me when celebrities play the do you know me? Yeah, no, he don't know her. At the end of the day, he don't give a shit who she is. It is closed. Them people that had ordered their food before the place closed, he bringing their last orders out. You take your ass to McDonald's. They want to go home. The audacity of it all. She talking about you gonna do this in front of 20,000. What is 20,000 people looking at you? Walk around embarrassing yourself down to the taco place, and if the tacos is good, all 20,000 and people still gonna go there, and they see real stars in LA. Yes, they know who real celebrities is. Just because this girl is walking around, I don't know, with 20,000 followers, that means nothing. Not over there when it's time to go. Y'all gonna have to learn as a generation that life don't work like that. And I feel like a lot of them are about to start finding out. As we're dealing with the things that we're dealing with, you know, in this current climate, y'all are about to find out exactly what it's like, you know what I'm saying, to have to fight for your freedoms. And walking around trying to harass the taco place workers is not it. Taco Bell is always open, girl. Take yourself around the Taco Bell and drive through. And your friend is stupid. Like, you have a friend who's over here speaking on your behalf, trying to explain how famous she is. So because she came late, these 20,000 people are going to shut down their bit. Girl, you have to, like Lotus said, take your ass to Taco Bell. And you know Taco Bell don't compare to the burrito place, because they tacos is probably got actual taco meat in it, and not whatever it is that they ground to the Taco Bell that have you sitting on the toilet 10 minutes after you eat it. So, girl, not just her, these influencers in general, y'all gonna have to have a rude awakening when life hits you and you have nothing to offer but, you know, followers that don't actually exist. I'm looking forward to this. Last Friday is set to drop in spring 2027. Written by Ice Cube, the creator of The Boondocks. Craig and Day Day will reportedly be dealing with gentrification of their neighborhood. Yeah, I like the subject matter already. How is that going to work? Because Craig and Day Day is old. So, you know, and now, you know, they're not young like they was back in the day, but the Boondocks and the creator of the Boondocks and Ice Cube sounds like a good combination for some, good content, good movie. We hope. Last Friday is officially moving forward with the story will reportedly tackle gentrification. After years of rumors, delays, fan questions, Last Friday appears to finally be happening. I'm happy about that. We can wrap up this story. The long-awaited fourth film in Ice Cube's Friday franchise has been stuck in limbo for years, but the last update suggests the movie is now actively moving forward. New Line Cinema president and CCO Richard Brenner previously confirmed that the studio has closed a deal with Ice Cube to write the star in the new film, which will be called Last Friday. This major development for the franchise that is not released to a new movie since Friday After Next. Oh, wow. It's since 2002. The original Friday, released in 1995, became a cult classic and helped Craig, Smokey, Day Day, and the neighborhood itself into a piece of Black comedy history. Now the new film may be bringing that same neighborhood energy into modern issue gentrification. According to Complex, details about the plot are still limited, but the segment revealed that the movie will deal with the gentrification of a neighborhood and is expected to begin filming later this year. That would make sense for a Friday sequel because the franchise has always centered everyday life in a working class Los Angeles neighborhood. Mike Epps, who played Day Day in Next Friday and Friday After Next, has also said the creative team includes Ice Cube, DJ Pooh, Aaron McGruder, and Epps himself. McGruder is best known as the creator of the Boondocks, which is important because his work is known for its sharp humor and social commentary. Epps reportedly said, I just was with Ice Cube, DJ Pooh, and Aaron McGruder is sitting in a room writing this movie, according to multiple reports. I am looking forward to this. Like I said, it's a good way to wrap it up. We can sit with our children and, watch the whole franchise together and, get caught up on get caught up on Friday, and it won't be left like where it was. You like the sound of this project? I do too, Pac. Like I said, it's one of these things, generations that, we can still go back and talk about. We need Craig and Day Day kids. They all unks now. I'm sure they will be. I'm sure there will be a new generation of actors. Like I said, I like the combination of Ice Cube and the writer for the Boondocks. It's hard to. I mean, I'm sure Craig and Day Day are going to show up, like as the fathers. It's a good spin on a lot of us dealing with that right now. It is, and even though we not from South Central, we grew up in this neighborhood with Cube and what was the one with Regina King and Boys in the Hood. We grew up, in Nia Long in this neighborhood in South Central. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is a good summer movie for next summer. Can't keep us down. They should know this by now. After all they tried before, tell them to sit down and watch us do it. John Tony, we're going to do it somewhere else. I think we're tired. I think we're tired of trying to prove something that, they refuse to see. When I say we, I mean me. I'm tired. I'm tired of, the U.S. trying to decide whether, we should be allowed to, live our lives as normal humans. But, it is what it is. We were talking about the people, the influencers, before I get out of here, and why this shit is not real and why they need to realize it's not real, because they over here finding out the hard way. Good old TikTok ain't the same as it used to be since folks took it over, and not only people of color are finding that out. The boy was over here the other day telling the Spirit Airlines people to go quit being lazy, go find another job. Go find another job. This isn't what I wanted. He told him to go find another job. Now he back over here again crying because the TikTok tables have turned on him. And it's exposing, how TikTok does with white creators versus the creators of color. So I'm going to start here.
I know everyone's kind of coping with this in different ways. A lot of people are making jokes, which I've done as well. Some people are really angry. I've felt all those emotions, but honestly, today, I'm just feeling really sad.
James Charles is now going viral because he is now the most unfollowed TikTok account in TikTok history. Quickly, for those that are unaware, a lot of people online have been claiming that they were already followed to James Charles for some reason, yet they never remember actually following him. Apparently, James Charles has been paying TikTok for you to follow him, and you're most likely following him like I was, which inevitably has caused a mass unfollowing chain for James Charles. I'm pretty sure he's lost around 4 million followers in the past 12 hours, and every hour he just seems to lose more and more. And as you can clearly see above me, he's already down to 40.4 mil. He's lost around 4 million followers, and this is all because he was paying TikTok for people like you and me to some reason follow him while he was getting canceled behind the scenes. Now, all this is alleged, but I literally had to ask my mom on her phone to check if she was, followed to James Charles, because for some reason I was, and it turns out my mom checked and she was literally following James Charles as well. Honestly, this just seems really crazy turn of events, all because of what James Charles has started with all the drama.
I know everyone's kind of coping with this in different ways. A lot of people are making jokes, which I've done as well.
So they over here signing you up to follow people that you didn't ask to follow. I went and looked. I wasn't following James Charles. I was like, let me see if they didn't sign me up to follow James Charles, because I am not. I saw something about The Fifth Element. Oh, you said El Cid had you watching The Fifth Element movie? Listen, I love that movie. That was a good movie, The Fifth Element. I wouldn't mind having a part 2 to that, but unfortunately, what's his name? Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is no longer going to be able to perform the way he was, before. So, have y'all seen this? And then I'm out of here. But this right here, child, what y'all have been out here doing? What the heck? This is what the kids is out here doing. This is a Swatch and AP at Aventura Mall. So apparently AP, which is some exclusive watchmaker, has partnered up with Swatch and selling these watches that were at some point upwards of $30,000. Now you can get one for $300-400 because there's a Swatch partnership. And, it's a colorful watch that looks like a Swatch watch. And so these kids is out here lined up. And this is Aventura Mall. I've seen the same thing here at, the mall at Millennia. These kids are out here in droves to get to this watch for $400. And all I have to say about that is I better see y'all out at these polls the same way you out here buying these watches, these Swatch watch, $400 watch that look like a watch that they used to sell for $75 back in the day when I was working in a department store. Where are these kids getting all this money? These are all of these streamer kids and influencer kids, and they're all out here trying to spend money on a watch that they seen their favorite streamers wearing, that they claim to have spent thousands of dollars on. And from what I understand, consumer zombies is the best way to describe it, Jatoni. That's exactly what it is. From what I'm understanding, this AP company, I'm not familiar. I don't have $30,000 or plus to spend on a watch, so this is not something that interests me at all. I think watch culture is a certain type of culture, and this is not even. This was always meant to be a thing. I feel like this trickery with the expensive Swatch watch, this was always the plan. I feel like from day one. Did they give their parents money for groceries? Hell no, they didn't. It's digital because these kids can't tell time. That's what I'm talking about. They can't even tell time, but they standing out here for a $400 watch. And this is why people ain't at the mall no more, because y'all don't know how to act. I didn't hear of anything bad. I'm just saying I would love to see this much traction down to the polls, and they won't. They won't be out there because they're not educating themselves, you know. And there's plenty of young people's platforms. They want to follow DDG or whatever his name is that was over here harassing Halle Bailey over their little boy. He ain't even got money like that. So from what I understand, this AP company, you can't even just purchase a watch from them. They're kind of like Hermes bags where you have to be invited in. They're not brawling, but they are definitely pushing their way into this door to get this watch before they're gone. This $300 watch that, you know, looks like a toy watch. And you could probably find it on Shein or Temu. It won't be $400, but the vibe will be the same. And yeah, this is wild to me. Anyway, y'all, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Do I have anything else? Was there anything else that I clicked on over here that I wanted to talk about before I head out? I don't think so. I think that's it. Yeah, so y'all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. It's lunchtime, y'all. Let's go get something to eat. I'll be back later. I'll be back tonight at 7. We gonna go ahead and go live for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This was a good episode. So I'll see y'all tonight at 7. And for those of y'all that don't do Atlanta, I'll see you tomorrow at 10:15. So y'all have a lovely Taco Tuesday, and I'm out. Bye, y'all.